You saw nothing.
Dragon Ball has a major influence in my life, introducing me to the world of anime. Compelling characters, over-the-top action, and morals that can resonate with you harder than me when I wake up in the morning. It showed me that animation can have meaningful themes and stories than just slapstick comedy. Not to say all cartoons are like this, but those special ones were rare to come by back in the day. And yet, I didn't get into it because of the show. I got into it because of the games.
I'm a f***ing fraud.
Dragon Ball Z Budokai was the second game I played on my first gaming console, the Nintendo GameCube. It had everything people can ask for. The clay-looking models, the repetitive combos, and the amount of content it offers. Okay, the game hasn't aged that well, but it always holds a special place in my heart. The other games that follow are great, redefining the fighting genre in their own fun, unique way. Yet somehow there was always a missing link from these games, and I couldn't put my finger on it. During the 2010s, Dragon Ball games became more stale with each new entry for me. Battle Z was fine, Ultimate Tenkaichi shouldn't exist, and while Xenoverse was a great series, I never had a primal reason to come back to them. It always was, I play them, finish the story, and never touch them again. I wanted a Dragon Ball game to excite me that the other games couldn't. I wanted a game that mimicked the intensity of the actual show. Fast forward to E3 2017, and...
Alright, where is it? I need to play that right now!
It looked phenomenal. No Dragon Ball game had ever given me excitement like FighterZ. Not to say every game before didn't excite me, but there was something about this one that got me hooked. Here's the thing, when it was revealed, it was only 20% complete. There was so much work to be done with adding characters, online connections, and implementing modes. I did not care. I wanted this game. No, I needed it. It was revealed to be released on January 26, 2018. I'm known to be patient, but man, the wait was killing me. I wanted to play this game now. With the open beta test, I did just that. And I might have went a little overboard. Hey, I was a freshman in college on a weekend with no plans, and the 8 hours I did nothing because the servers were down. Suffice to say, I really liked it, and I could not wait to get my hands on the full game. This was a game that came out at the perfect time. This is the game that made me proud to be a Dragon Ball fan. This is Dragon Ball FighterZ. Dragon Ball FighterZ was developed by Arc System Works, who are known for creating some well-known fighting games. How it works is players select 3 characters to form a team in 3v3 battles. One character fights while the other 2 act as supports who you can switch to or use as an assist. There are other moves you can use like vanishing, dragon rushing, super dashing, key charging, rage quitting. It also has a Shenron system if you collect all 7 Dragon Balls by doing combos and auto-comboing your opponent. If you're in a pinch, you can use sparking bursts that give you a huge buff for a limited time. Combos are easy to learn, hard to master, as there is an auto-combo system where you can mash one button to do a combo, whether it be light, medium, or heavy attacks. You can use them to make combos that work for you. However, I know a combo that is effective and universal to everyone. I dub it the Dragon Combo. How it works is 2M, 5M9, 5L, 5M, 2H, Super Dash, 5L, 5M, 2H9, 5L, 5M, 5H.
I should probably elaborate.
As you can see, the way the attacks are set up are in an arc with the buttons. It starts with light, which is L, medium, M, and heavy, H. The left stick is a whole can of worms with its layout using numbers. Think of it as a phone dial, except it's reversed. If you have the stick pointing down left, that's 1. Down is 2, down right is 3, middle left, or just left is 4. Not moving the stick at all, just leaving it by itself, is 5, middle right is 6, upper left is 7, up is 8, and upper right is 9. It can be confusing at first, but once you play the game long enough, it'll become second nature. Back to the combo at hand. We start with the down medium attack, or 2M, followed by a regular medium attack, which is 5M. You just press the medium button, and you don't move the stick at all. Now make sure you jump towards your opponent right after you hit the regular medium attack while they're in the air, so that way you can keep the momentum, hence the 9. Another name for it is jump cancel. Do 2 regular light attacks, 5L, then down heavy, 2H, super dash towards your opponent, which is R2, 2 light attacks, down heavy, jump cancel, 2 light attacks, and finish it with a down heavy. So again, it's 2M, 5M, 9, 5L, 5M, 2H, super dash, 5L, 5M, 2H, 9, 5L, 5M, 5H. Of course, there are other attacks at your disposal, but the beauty of the dragon combo is that it's very versatile. You can end it with a super attack, use a vanishing followed by a dragon rush, or use a character's assist to keep the combo going. There is no right way to combo if you don't lose it. Just don't want to feel blue, da-bo-dee-da-bo-da. Now that we've established the gameplay, let's see what modes they have with the Hub World menu. You can customize which chibi character you want to run around in the Hub World, and the sound it makes when they run is so cute. Here's what they offer. Versus mode, practice, arcade, online, and story. Versus is your basic 1v1 fight, or I guess technically 3v3. Practice lets you craft and train your combos. Arcade mode is just score attack. Fight in multiple battles to get the highest score. Online makes me want to cut my thumbs off. And of course, the story mode.
Typically with DBC games, they usually retell the story of the show, whether it be from Z and or the movies. That's how I know the story for all of them. God, what is wrong with me? Now, Xenoverse was unique with having a time patrol storyline that is a retelling of the original series, while also having to be able to save that original timeline. But here, it's a fresh and brand new story, which I really love. Played as much of these games like I have, you would get sick and tired of hearing the same old story too.
Our story begins at Capsule Corp, where Bulma resides, inside Goku. I wish I was joking. No time to figure that out as Android 16 tries to take us by force. Of course, we beat his ass. Beerus and Whis then show up after the fight, which makes 16 retreat for now. This is where we get exposition that there is another person inside Goku. I mean, Goku is still there, but not in control. Then we learn clothes start appearing out of nowhere. Frieza and Cell are back, and there are waves that are interfering with the Z Fighters' power. It's up to us to find the fighters and figure out who's responsible. This is where the actual gameplay starts for the story mode. You have to move in this grid-like board that has a resemblance to Budokai 2. Move the icon to the next spot available to get to the boss. You enter your typical fighter's gameplay, beating enemies to move. It does get repetitive over time doing the same thing. There are equips you can use to gain the advantage, but if you keep leveling up and know how to play efficiently, they're not that necessary. After rescuing Krillin, they find Cell, who is about to eliminate Android 18 and an unknown woman. Being 18 is Krillin's girl. He tried his best. Eventually, Cell retreats and the gang checks up on the fallen comrades. The unknown woman, man, she is pretty. Woman claims to be a researcher for the Red Ribbon Army. She tells them about the suppression waves and to find the base in order to stop them. Once there, they confront 16 as to why he is helping the army. He has no need to answer, but explains that the one who is responsible for everything is Android 21, who just so happens to be the researcher they saved. Not only she is bad, but she is bad. Once she transforms, she destroys 16 for betraying him. The reason why she's doing this is because she wants to devour her victims in order to gain more strength for herself. Now, why can't she just eat them now? Well, she wants them to be as weak as possible for her plan to work, and the more power they gain, the more delicious they will be, and the more powerful she becomes. As she retreats, they try to catch up to her, only to have her blast Goku, knocking him out in the process. At that point, the soul that was in control was in Goku's body. Since he was knocked out, the soul made its way into Cell's body and battles 21 before returning to Goku's body. Nothing else happens after that except for a few boss encounters. It's just more fights, getting stronger, and more allies to rescue instead of attacking the enemy directly. Wow, just like the actual show. What makes up for it are the character interactions if you select certain fighters before the fight starts.
It's been a long time since the three of us got together in these uniforms. Reminds me of the days when I trained as a martial artist.
Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think we've ever trained together, Yamcha. So hey, why don't we go a few rounds?
Well, you're kidding, right? I wouldn't even come close to being a match for you. Not to mention I've been giving up fighting. Krillin would be a much better training partner, okay?
Hey now, I've retired from fighting too. I got a family to think about now.
Well, I guess there's nothing I can do about Krillin having a family. Guess robot wives have needs too. But you know, Yamcha, you're not married, and you don't have a family or anything, right?
Well, you see, about that, it's complicated.
I have no idea what you're talking about. But if you don't have a real reason to quit fighting, then you should train with me.
Goku, are you even hearing the things that are coming out of your mouth?
Enough about me already. Let's just focus on the upcoming battle. Let's think of this fight as us training together, okay? Oh, and please try not to kill me.
Anyways, they find 21 and they leave her, just like my dad. They wanted to move the fight to the Kai Sacred World so that the planet wouldn't get destroyed. Now, I don't know what the timeline on where this takes place, but either Goku learned his lesson from the Tournament of Power, or he's just an asshole to planets. So with the power of friendship, they combine their powers to beat 21. The entire story I just told was from the perspective of the Super Warriors. Once completed, you unlock the Enemy Warriors arc. This is from the enemy's perspective of the story, starting with 21 and 16 reviving the villains of the past, and then we're inside Frieza. Okay, this is getting weird. Nothing unique happens here since the link system has the same effect, with getting stronger for 21 to consume, besides picking up Nappa and Ginyu. When we meet up with Cell, it's an interesting exchange between the two villains who never got the chance to interact at all in the actual show. We get to where the villains attack 18 and it plays out exactly from the Super Warriors perspective, except at the end where Goku, Cell, and Frieza finish off 21 on Earth. Now this complicates the story since they try to connect them. I don't mind if it's two different stories with different outcomes, but if you want to try and connect them in a certain way, go all the way. Don't use one scene to do it and then never do it again. At least with the third act, it doesn't try to connect them. Also, there's a third act. This one starts with Android 18 being brought in by 16 and 21, with the soul being inside 18. Now this is getting interesting. They want her to deal with the clones and destroy the waves. What makes this one stand out is that 21 here is actually nice? In the other act, she's a full-fledged villain for the other warriors to deal with. Here, she's considerate and wants to help the Z Fighters with the situation.
Shut up! Let me be! Get out of my way!
When she's not being a bitch. She still has her evil intentions with consuming people to gain strength, but she's doing her best to suppress that evilness. It does reach to a point where the soul must link up with 21 to keep her in check. This leads to interacting with 21 about her past and her ties with the Red Ribbon Army. While we're on the subject, when you level up characters to a certain threshold, you can enter their soul and get an interaction with that said character. It's nothing amazing if you know them from the show, but it's nice to see their personality and thoughts being presented to you. Things were going great until Cell shows up to take down the androids. It turns out 21 did revive the villains that we know from the previous acts, but has no recollection of doing so. Because of this, she joins the fight to right the wrongs. Unfortunately, her desires got the better of her and manifested into an evil version of herself. Now, if this doesn't make any sense, it isn't. But it's anime, nothing makes sense. Evil 21 eats Cell and gains a new form reminiscent to Cell's design, and of course she bails again.
Despite all this, I really like 21 as a character, possibly one of my favorites in the series. She's caring and a strong fighter to boot. That's saying something coming from a female character in Dragon Ball, where people just destroy planets like they're crushing ants. It was actually specifically designed for the game by the series creator, Akira Toriyama. Both her human form and Majin form are just... whoa! She got some nice assets, if you know what I mean.
We cut to one of the laboratories where the gang is trying to stop Evil 21 from activating the suppression waves. However, the wave will affect her as well, since Good 21 was able to suppress her when she was weakened. But that's okay, because Krillin and Goku are here.
Goku, my sweetie Goku. I can't help it. You look absolutely scrumptious.
Ew, yuck! You're seriously creepy, do you know that? If you aren't careful with what you eat, you'll get a stomachache.
Never change, Goku. Never change. After some more chasing, because it can't get enough of it, we have everyone in the battlefield at Kai's world. Again, Goku powers up the Spirit Bomb while Good 21 buys some time to fire. Once he does, Good 21 sacrifices herself to eliminate her and Evil 21. With that said, the story of FighterZ is over. I'll admit it has some inconsistencies and pace breakers, but as an original story just for this game, it's pretty alright. Having a reason why their power is suppressed, can only fight one at a time, and being able to try a majority of the roster, with a few exceptions, it's a nice way to teach you how to play the game. It does drag with the repetitive clone battles with the occasional Kid Buu battles that pop up rarely for more XP. I think what I liked about this game in particular is that the aesthetics are so good. Not to say every Dragon Ball game doesn't have them, but it didn't have the same look and feel from the original show. It either looks bland and gross or just straight up lazy. Here, even though it uses 3D models, it uses dynamic shots and tones to match like if you were watching an episode of the show. For example, in Budokai 1, the scene where Frieza blows up Krillin and Goku turns Super Saiyan for the first time. It's good, but it looks like someone just uses clay to animate these characters. Granted, this was back in 2001, so graphics weren't the best at the time. However, it doesn't match the art style and hype from the manga and anime. In FighterZ, you can clearly see the attention to detail with each frame, each expression, each cut, heavily ripped from the original. Some might say it's a bad comparison, but this just goes to show how much attention to detail Arc Sys pays to make the show come to life. Even certain moves are key frames from the show. They use dynamic camera angles and proportions to get these sick Lucan shots. This is why I consider this to be an anime game done right. It makes me feel like I'm watching the show, being a part of it, playing multiple characters, new and old, gameplay is fast-paced, the story, while not great, is a nice change of pace than other DBZ games. It's a great fighting game, and it's a must-play for Dragon Ball fans. I'm hoping later down the line we'll get another game like this, but with different anime properties. We'll see what the future holds.
Until then, I'm a bounce. After 20 years of doing this, you'd think I learned by now.